gust of wind. I hear Nia farting.
Hey! Good morning! Good morning!
Should have
Good morning, everybody!
Good morning.
Oh god, what? I thought we were going again!
I'm ready.
Right, good morning, everybody! Hope you're doing good! Right, these two are a bit hyper. We've been eating popcorn and chocolate for breakfast.
I had cereal and orange juice and an apple. Can I just throw that out there?
We've been eating
And it was a good choice.
and
100%.
chocolate. Yeah, it tasted great. It's
It
what
did.
you need.
Yeah, no, I did have like a morning snack with my Milky Ways, and that was good. So
Thanks for letting us know.
I feel like the viewers really needed that
to
information.
know that.
The clarification.
I'm just saying that I didn't avoid the chocolate altogether. That's my point, right? I like chocolate. Eat chocolate, kids.
Anyway, cracking on with the video. Today I thought we'd talk about our year abroad because we are currently in France. Woo! We're on our year abroad as part of our degree. Wait, is yours part of your degree?
Yeah, Erasmus.
Is it compulsory?
Yes.
Okay, all of us are compulsory year abroad as part of our degree. And because we all study French, we have to spend it in a French-speaking country. France just seemed easiest. And we're all in Nantes. Well, they're in Nantes.
Don't even work here.
The Nantes
like-
region.
The Nantes area.
Yeah.
Together. And all of our experiences are quite different, I think.
Yeah.
So I thought I would talk about it because why not? Yeah. So my experience, as I said earlier, I'm living in the Bull. So I don't actually live in Nantes, so I'm by the beach, which is fab, but also very quiet. There's not a lot going on, whereas you guys live here.
We do.
So it's a lot different, isn't it? You've got a lot to do, and it means you can go out and just kind of meet.
I mean, you do spend a lot of
people.
time here, in fairness. So
Yeah.
Should emphasise I'm here every weekend.
It's true.
She
I
has
guess
her own
it's
drawer.
just more that we have the option, like
Yeah.
not that we do a lot of it,
Not
but for
really.
spontaneous
Yeah.
plans,
Yeah,
whereas
very
your
true.
visits are planned and you've got to know
Oh,
when
yeah.
the trains are. So that's probably the biggest difference.
I think it's like it takes an hour on the train to get here, so that's probably the only difference that kind of holds me back is the fact I have to spend 2 hours on a round trip to actually get here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine.
And it gives,
Like
I know for me,
trains.
like it gives structure to my week.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's enjoyable doing.
So,
Sorry.
living conditions. I think that's one of the main differences between all of us.
So
we're currently- We're currently in Ellen's apartment from Nia's party last night. We did a bit of clean up this morning because we made a bit of a mess. It happens.
That's life. When you eat food,
yeah.
you deal with the consequences.
We made cocktails and had brownie and unwrapped presents.
We did.
And so that was just a bit of a mess, so we needed to clean up. But your accommodation has recently changed.
It has, yes.
So she was living in an apartment, was it?
No, it was a house. It was. I was living with a French lady on her top floor, which was like I had a really nice big room and an ensuite to myself. But then we shared the kitchen, which is where problems arose. So yeah, I think if anyone was watching this, sort of thinking about their year abroad, do think carefully when you're thinking about your accommodation. Think about what you want and think about what
Yeah.
you need.
It's obviously really difficult to find accommodation. And
Yeah,
we
it
understand
is,
if you're currently planning and trying to find accommodation,
Yeah.
we feel your pain. I didn't find mine. I accepted my accommodation. I was gonna get an apartment that was gonna be about 4 miles away from one of my schools that I'm teaching in. And I accepted it because it was the only one I could find. And then 30 seconds later, I found a better apartment. And apparently it had been planned that I was arriving, I was not aware of it. So it's difficult. You have to try and figure something out without being in the country if you're trying to plan it in
Yeah.
advance.
And often you have to do it in French, which when you haven't been out to France yet, your French isn't confident, like you're not.
You're not there yet.
Yeah, no, like, I mean, we're not there yet, no.
No.
But it's quite intimidating at the start having to negotiate
Yeah.
in French.
Yeah.
And,
But I would definitely say to plan ahead, because I came over without like having any accommodation because I thought it would be easy, and thankfully one of my teachers put me up for the first 2 weeks before I found something, but it was very stressful trying to find
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
over here.
But
and
then-
I kind of
yeah.
just grabbed the first thing I found, and I definitely should have put more
See,
thought
that
into
was
it.
my problem, is that my school sent me an ad for this room, and because it was the first thing I saw, and I just took it without really thinking.
Yeah.
And so then, personally, I would encourage you to think, if you're going to live with others, think about maybe young people, students. Because I was like, oh, this is great, this is someone to speak French with. But
She was older. She was
the
a lot
student
older.
adult clash really didn't work well.
No.
And but like, I know other people, like I've heard of other assistants living with like French students and all who have really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But do you know what? Also, if you're the kind of person that needs your space, like there's lots of places here called Foyer de Jeunes Travailleurs that lots of our friends live in,
They're great.
where you
They-
have
yeah.
your own room, your own kitchen, and
Yeah.
like.
They're small and they're expensive,
Yeah.
but you're by yourself and you have everything you
And
need
if that's
there.
what you need, then like
Yeah.
be
I
kind
would
to
recommend
yourself.
that, like 100%.
So-
It's like basically
Calf covers a lot
Hall's,
of it as well.
Yeah, it's Hall version. So any of you who are Halls are residents of uni, it's basically their equivalent in France, but they don't tend to be just for students that are in France studying at that university. They tend to be for any kind of young student around who's come to live in this city.
Yeah. I think it's even anyone under 30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
So it's really good. And also, Nia mentioned CAF. If you didn't know what it was, because I didn't before I arrived, it's basically some money. You can get some funding for accommodation that you can apply for when you arrive in France, and it is a lifesaver if you get it.
Yeah, and also it's if you
Yeah.
earn less than 1,100 a month. If you earn more than that, I don't think you get it. I don't get it, but
Yeah.
that's because my landlord is trying to figure it out. It's a long
Complicated.
story.
Yeah, and I like
I meant to get it.
I'm the living proof, because I was kind of like at the start when I heard about it, I basically just didn't bother, and I really wish I did now.
Yeah.
So you should definitely
Yeah,
go for
some
CAF.
people have gotten
Like,
so much money
I
off.
know.
Like
Yeah.
they're meant to be paying over 400, but they're paying less than 100. Like it's class.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
The
It's
stuff.
so good.
If you live in a foyer, it is the
You
best. That's the
need
best.
it.
Like
because the foyers
that's
are
the biggest
quite
impact.
Yeah,
expensive.
and the staff at the foyer have been really helpful in helping
Yeah.
our friends to sort CAF as
Absolutely,
well.
yeah.
Whereas like we had to do it. Well, you had a little help,
Yeah.
but
So
I would have had to do it on my own. So
yeah. So I live.
great.
If I haven't explained, I live in a downstairs apartment inside someone's house. It's very complicated to explain, but you go through the same front door, but they live upstairs, so they go up the stairs and they only live upstairs, and I have a little room downstairs which I live in, which has a kitchen, the bathroom, and essentially a bedroom, but it's kind of all in one room, which has worked out really well because the people I live with a mum and a daughter, and they are incredible. They are so lovely, and they have helped me with everything. So on my first day when I moved in, they sat me down and they applied for everything. They'd already arranged for me to go to a bank to sort out a bank account. Like I had no idea.
That's amazing.
So I was going to the bank the next day, which I had no idea about. They were just incredible. So everything that I don't understand, any letters that came through the post, I could literally just go upstairs, knock on the door and be like, help. And they are so good. They take me weekly shopping if it's too heavy, if I need to stock up on heavy things, and I would definitely recommend it. I think it's difficult to find in a city though. Because I live in the middle of nowhere, and the same lady hosts the assistant in Le Boule every single year, so she's used to it. It can be very hit and miss, and it is very difficult to find in a city because your experience with living with someone was slightly different, which
Yeah.
has now changed, and you're living in an Airbnb.
Yeah. It wasn't fun.
It just, yeah, I think people, with different age groups as well, it's just very difficult because you wanted to make the most of being a student out here.
Yeah.
You want to make the most of being in a place that you're not normally living in, so you wanted to go out and explore and...
Yeah.
Hey!
I live in an apartment.
Yeah, no, it's an apartment.
It's family building. I live with 3 other people, and they're all lovely. So thank
Yeah.
God for that. However, I would like to, I'm the person who goes home and literally just talks to no one because I'm so tired. So I probably would have preferred to live by myself.
Your own space.
But at the same time, the people I live with are lovely, so it's
It
fine.
helps,
Yeah, no, it's
Uh-huh.
fine.
I think
Absolutely.
it's just one thing you need to think about before you come out here.
Yes,
Very true.
absolutely.
Very true.
Because at uni, I know for me, I lived in Halls first year, which I enjoyed but didn't love. I enjoyed the social aspect of it, but I am like you, I need my space after a while. Especially if I'm working and other people are making noise, it's not very easy. And then second year I lived in a house, but it was slightly better because a lot of the time, if it's a small house, if they're out at lectures or anything, if they're out at work, you kind of you find some sort of time where you know that it's just going to be you in the house, and it makes it a lot easier. This year it's been very good because it means I can have my own space, but when I'm in the city I get to see you guys and I stay with you guys and I get the social aspect. So it's quite good. Like, you just need to really think about it before you come.
Put a lot of prep into it.
Absolutely.
I very much didn't, because I was working abroad in the south of France over summer, and I had 6 days at home before moving to France. And in those 6 days, I tried to plan everything, which was not good because I didn't leave myself enough time.
And also, I think something to keep in mind is, like, when I think of, like, myself, because last year at uni I lived with my 5 best friends basically, and, like, in that situation I loved living with people, and so in my head I was kind of like, oh, definitely, like, with other people, but having it be people who don't speak English makes a very big difference. Like, because if there's issues, if there's problems, like there was, like, sometimes issues in my house last year, you could talk it out right away. It was easy to figure it out. Whereas when you're living with people where there's that language barrier, that makes it a lot, like, for me it was a lot more stressful, because it made me stressed about bringing up problem stuff, because I was like, oh, I can't express exactly what I think. So
it depends on how confident you are as well. Like, I'm quite a confident person to be like, oh, I'm having issues, can you help? Like, even the other day I was asking the difference between verbs to my French landlord, because I was just like, I'm really confused. Like, I thought they meant the same and they weren't. But if you find it difficult when you're put on the spot to suddenly try and speak a different language, if you find it difficult in your own language, you're going to find it difficult in another language, and it's going to be twice as hard, even 3 times as hard. And so it's something you have to think about again. Like, if there is an issue, what are you going to do? You were quite lucky. You had friends here, like family friends and things that could help you out with your situation. I'm just cry normally.
I mean, I did that too before. I called the family friends.
The people I live with, I don't have an issue with. I've had a few issues in my schools, but then I've had the good people I live with that have helped me sort it out, so that's fine. I've had them to turn to. You've had us.
Yes, I do.
It's just all about having, like, a support system of some kind. 100%. Because, like, year abroad is full of, like, everything is new and you're gonna find problems in some area of life. So it's so important that, like, for Nia, it was us. For me, it was people from my church and my family friends. For Georgia, it's her landlady. Like, have your support people, know who they are, and, like, have them, because you're gonna need them at some point. You don't know for what.
You don't know for what. And we were quite lucky. So making friends also is a really difficult thing when you're year abroad. It's really daunting. Like, before you arrive.
If, like, you're in, like, I know that we, like, I mean, you don't live here, but you're pretty much, like, a person. And, like, living in a city is so much easier because there's so many people who are your age, but a lot of people haven't enjoyed their year abroad. I saw, like, on Facebook, like, people aren't enjoying it because they're in such small areas where there isn't anyone their own age.
If I didn't push myself out, so I ended up having to buy. So I spent a lot of money this year, mainly to meet friends and to meet people. But I've had to get a TGV Max subscription train ticket, and, like, basically I spent €80 a month to get free travel between the 2 cities, or, well, my town and the city. And, like, it's worked out really well because I forced myself, because I'm spending this €80, I want to get my money's worth. So I forced myself to come in, and I'm here, like, at least twice a week normally. Or 2 days at least.
Totally.
And I think there's some people who live even closer to the city but haven't got any sort of subscriptions to train tickets or haven't got any reductions, and they, because of that, don't want to come in because they see it as a lot of money.
That would be me. Like, I work in Cleveland, which is, like, it's like 20-25 minutes on the train, but if I lived there, I wouldn't come in because I probably wouldn't know
Yeah.
anybody. Like I wouldn't have made the effort. I would have
No.
been too
Yeah.
shy. So it's only because I live
Yeah.
here that I actually like became friends with everyone that's here.
It's very much about just deciding your priorities, because I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
like for Georgia especially, like you knew that like being social and being with friends, like that you
was
needed
my
that,
priority.
and that was your priority. And then that, like, your year abroad would have been so different if you hadn't
Yeah.
decided,
Absolutely.
right, I'm gonna put this money towards this because I need this
I
to
need
be
it to
happy.
be, yeah. But being social, I really wanted. So like even my first day, so we had a introduction day for all the assistants, who are teacher assistants here, and we were in the Academy de Nantes, which is like the general area. So we all went together. I'd created a Facebook group
You
chat
had
of people.
yeah.
No offense, Nia, you weren't in that.
It's alright. I didn't know you back then. So
Yeah.
fine.
Of people that so someone had sent around an email, they'd managed to get all the email addresses of everyone. She'd created a Facebook page, and then I'd created a Facebook chat of anyone that was kind of nearby, plus me, and anyone that was kind of accessible to Nantes, because a lot of people who are in the academy actually aren't anywhere near the city. So I created a Facebook chat before the introduction day. And then at the introduction, I saw you and a couple other girls that I recognised.
Yeah, because
in the
I
chat.
remember looking out for you, because
Yeah.
you were the one who was on the Facebook chat all the time.
Always there.
Um,
And we met up, and that was lovely. We went for dinner the first night with a couple of assistants, and that was how I was like, great, I need to get my foot in here. But I remember going home that first day thinking, what am I going to do? Like, I'm an hour away. It costs 25 euros each way sometimes, depending on if it's like peak time or not for trains. I can't afford to do that, to spend, like, to go out for dinner with some friends or anything. That's expensive. So I panicked. I just broke down. I thankfully had my boyfriend with me at the time. He came for the first week to help settle me in. And I was just like, I can't do this. Like, this is going to be awful. It's going to be like uni again. I'm not going to have friends. They're all together, and I'm very much not in Nantes. And then I think something happened, and I was just like, no, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to spend as much money as I can. Like, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, I'm not looking for this year to save or anything. I'm looking for it to be a great year where I've come back with great memories. I've improved the language. And so I just bought the subscription that a friend had told me about. And I think it's made a huge difference. Like, I know people who live closer and they don't come into Nantes at all, and I'm here all
and
the
then,
time.
like, at the end of the year, like, you are going to save a bit of money from this
Yeah.
year, is the
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And France has so many train subscriptions. Like, Nia, you've
Yeah.
got one for getting
Yeah.
to work, like, to Clisson. Like, if you do your research, like,
yeah, because it
you
would have
ended
cost,
up okay.
it would have cost me over 200. I think it was like 260 a month. I worked it out to get a ticket like every single working day, and then I looked
too
into
much.
it, and I got a monthly ticket because I work in Clisson for 60 euros, so that was like less than 200 euro less, which made such a difference because I was not able to afford that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need to do your
to look into
research,
it. But then you can also, if you go to your train station, you can go up and ask
you can
them.
ask. That's what I did. I
Because
was like, I work
I-
there. I need less like money on this.
Because I worked in France over summer, I met a girl, like the girl I lived with was French, and she's a student, so she told me about the subscription to TGV Max, which I then went to do. But I would have had no idea on anything else, and I turned up once I got here, and turned up to the ticket desk as well to ask if there was any other tickets which would have been better before subscribing to this one. And it was, although you kind of panic about the French part of it,
A little bit.
don't worry, they're used to it. There's so
Yeah.
many students that,
Yeah.
like, we have a friend who has turned
Yeah.
up and he's doing his PhD here, and he didn't speak a single word of French
Not a
before he
word,
arrived.
yeah.
Like, they're used to it.
That's so true. That would be like one of my main like pieces of advice for year abroad, is like, I think there was a very like moment where the switch like clicked for me, and like, you just have to embrace your incompetence.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the first day when I went shopping, and like I stumbled through the French, and I came out and I was so embarrassed. I was like, like, oh my gosh, you must think I'm ridiculous. Like, how can I do that? Like, just do it.
Yeah.
If it's in a shop, they're never gonna see you again. All you can do is do
And
your
if it's
best.
that embarrassing, go to another shop next
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Also, at least you're trying. I feel like French people like just like it as long as you try.
But that means it's fine. Like, it's difficult for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
with learning
Everyone feels
language.
the same.
All of us.
Like when you first come, you can feel so like isolated because like my French isn't great, and when I first got here, not being able to understand everything that was going on really made me feel like
Panicked.
very lonely. Even
Yeah.
though like I spent a lot of time with like you guys, like it was
Yeah.
still still like, because I didn't fully understand like absolutely everything that was happening, I just felt like so like I needed to be surrounded by Irish accents until I like then I'd feel okay.
And I know like with like for me it was like it made my anxiety levels just because
100%.
even being on the bus I was just really scared that someone was going to turn around and
to you.
ask me something.
Yeah.
And like as someone like with anxious tendencies that made me like ugh. But you get used to it.
Yeah.
Now I'm not scared to go into a shop anymore. Now I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
worried on the
totally
bus
got over
anymore.
it,
Like it's a time thing.
It's the same thing as when you move away. The first time you move away from home, even in your own country, you can speak the language, but you still have that barrier of being like, I don't know where I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't
That's
know
so
anyone
true,
here.
yeah.
It's just the added pressure.
It's heightened because of
it's just the language
thing,
barrier.
yeah.
But then once you get used to the area, you've got one thing less to worry about. Once you find people, you have one thing less to worry about. Once you know how to get to the quickest route to your shop or the quickest route to school, and you feel like you start to know the city, that's when you start to become a bit more confident, and your language then flourishes a bit more.
And I think you've just got to be realistic as well, like especially with year abroad, like don't come out and think it's going to be like the best year of your life, action packed wonderful days right from the start. Like the first month is probably going to be the toughest, so you've just got to come out with a realistic attitude. Like
such a bad example for this because this has been the best year of my life.
No, in fairness, it's been one of the best of mine
like
as well.
it's been a
so good.
fantastic year,
Yeah.
but just don't think that it's gonna every
Don't put
day
the
will be
pressure.
amazing
No.
right from the start.
Yeah.
You can't put the pressure on it. It's like everyone always says uni's
yeah.
your best years of your life. You have to make it what it is for you. You can't have the pressure of being like, it's got to be the best year of my life, so it has to be. And
don't
if
compare it
it's
to
not
other
that,
people.
it's
No.
not going to be great. And you just have to make it what you want it to be.
And
You
don't
want
compare it to
get
other
out.
people's Instagram feeds
No.
either. Just because if they look like they're having the time of life, they're probably like, there have been nights where they've been sitting, crying, missing home. They just haven't put that on Instagram.
You don't want
So-
to. You don't always put up pictures being like, I'm really down today.
Yeah, or I'm bored
Like
today.
I'm feeling like I can't do the language barriers here. I can't speak the language. I can't do anything. You don't publish pictures of that. You tend to be like, oh, I'm going to the beach today. Look at this. Or look at this great sunset I saw. Or let's go to the park. And
100%.
you don't want to like. If you message anyone you know during your year abroad saying, oh, I've had a really bad day, I'm feeling really lonely, 100% they'll turn around and be like, I had one of those the other day.
Yeah.
Or,
That's
I've got that
happened
today.
so much with
Yeah.
us. I remember there's one time I said to you, oh, I had a really crap day yesterday. Are we allowed to say that?
Yeah, it's
okay. I had a really bad day yesterday. I felt so down about my French. And you were literally like, I had a bad day about my French. You should have messaged me. And like, yeah, everyone will be in the same boat, honestly.
Yeah.
Everyone is. And although people won't want to advertise that, as soon as you make the first step to be like, someone help, I'm really struggling, then it's fine. You've got everyone is in the same boat. Everyone knows exactly how you're feeling. Even if they can't relate 100%, they have had a bad day.
Yeah.
You can't go through your year abroad without having one bad day. It's just,
I mean, having quite a few bad days.
yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's a great experience because it does.
It is.
Yeah.
It's made me so much more confident, and my language.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Although-
so more independent now.
Yeah,
Like,
although
it's
my
I
not-
can
reading
feel like
and
I could
writing,
handle like adult life a lot more now.
exactly. Like I can do anything in Ireland now because I've
Yeah.
done it in France. Like I've set up a bank account. I
Yeah.
went and got another phone. Like I've like all my administration. Like
Yeah.
I did it myself.
Like,
I can do anything.
Me and one of
As
my
long
other
as it's in
friends were
English, I can
saying.
do it.
Me and one of my other friends were saying that like it makes you not like a little bit kind of like not invincible, but like if you can survive a year
Definitely
living in a
stronger
place
as a
where you
person.
know no one and
Yeah.
you don't know the language that well, like there's not much
fine.
that's gonna
Yeah.
scare you in life. Like
Exactly.
you're gonna be pretty
You're definitely
set,
stronger as a person.
like,
Like
for sure.
Yeah.
And you make great friends.
Hey. Right, we should probably go. We're going. In case I don't video it, I'm sure I'll video some of it.
You've got to video some of it.
So,
like-
if you don't know, Nantes is famous for having a mechanical elephant. That was
it's like it's not the size of a normal elephant. It's absolutely
it's
massive.
huge.
and,
I
like,
mean,
it's
normal
huge.
elephants, I'm pretty
They're
sure. I'm
No,
massive.
I'd say this one is at least double the size of a normal elephant.
Right,
Like,
I will
yeah.
try, if I've got space on my phone, I will try and video it because we are going to, hopefully, if it doesn't rain, ride the mechanical elephant. Woo! Again. So, yeah, we will hopefully see you guys later, but if not, thanks for watching. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to. No, I haven't got any other videos yet, but subscribe anyway. But yeah, if you have any questions about year abroad, we're happy to answer. you can direct it at any of us. So this is, I don't know if I introduced you guys properly. This is Nia and Ellen. So you can even target us and I will pass the messages on if you need to. But yeah, don't be afraid to ask anything because it's a scary year. It's scary and it's fine.
100%.
But it is also a great year.
Yeah.
It's a fab year.
So yeah, and I will maybe see you guys later on the elephant. Bye!
We are on.
We are on the
an
elephant! It is so
It's got a
cool.
head and everything.
What? It's got a trunk.
The ear thing.
So it makes noises, as you heard. It sprays water. It moves.
It's probably like the symbol of Nantes. Like everybody's
It
obsessed with
is.
the elephant.
Google it if you've never heard of it. You need to.